I'm riding on the top of a fire truck around Dr. Bronner's headquarters. As the company has grown, they say they are now required, for liability purposes, to tell me to hang on. The truck is equipped to shoot foam instead of water. As with the shower trailer, the company brings it to festivals and keeps it around the premises as part of the brand experience. It plays loud music, which feels especially out of place in this suburban office park. The publicists are wearing bright red and blue jumpsuits reminiscent of Oompa Loompas. It is a jolt back to reality as we swing around to the loading docks where tanker trucks deliver the oils, much of this cargo shipped all the way from Ghana. Towering garage doors open onto the production floor, which is a stark contrast to the groovy vibe of the rest of the place. Pristine and industrial, with enormous stainless steel tanks for high-pressured saponification towering overhead. There is a hall of fragrance silos 30 feet tall, in all the colors of their corresponding Bronner's labels. A plastic jug labeled citric acid, added as a preservative, is taller than I am. The centerpiece, where the saponification happens, is called the reactor, a 1,500-gallon tank with a hatch on top that is shut by turning 12 separate bolts and a maritime steering wheel to lock it into place. The enormous vessel is connected to two equally large ones that contain hot and cold water, and to an emergency pressure release valve that drains into a monstrous emergency collection tank. Temperatures reach into the thousands of degrees, and apparently the potential for a massive explosion exists. I climb some scaffolding up to the top of the reactor, where the technician tells me not to fall in and laughs. A horrible death scene flashes before my eyes. The fundamental principle of soap composition and performance apply to all soaps. Apart from fragrances and colors, the main difference among soaps is what kind of fat is used. That depends on what kinds of plants or animals provide the fat. All fat consists of a chain of carbon molecules. Some are fully saturated with hydrogen, saturated fats, and others have empty sites where hydrogen could bind, unsaturated. Both work well, and most soaps contain mixtures of the two. The conventional wisdom is that soaps from unsaturated fats are more effective as cleansers, but more drying. Soaps made with a greater proportion of saturated fats generate more lather. Dr. Bronner's distinguishes itself by using only organic plant oils. The label adds that the soap's ingredients are ethically sourced in fair trade and do not involve genetically modified GMO crops. Before writing this book, I had no idea that these terms could honestly apply to soap. But production of palm oil, one of the most commonly used oils in soaps, has been a leading driver of deforestation in many equatorial countries. Environmental advocacy groups like Greenpeace regularly call attention to the environmental impact of palm oil in consumer goods. Soap companies that deal in palm oil have also been implicated in human rights abuses such as child labor by organizations like Amnesty International. The group has implored Unilever, Colgate-Palmolive, and Procter & Gamble, among others, to adhere to what it considers ethical production of palm oil, and for consumers to insist on products that are fair trade certified. Some companies have announced changes, but most mainstream products have not met the advocate standards. The issue is a priority for David Bronner. He insists that the thousands of gallons of palm oil he imports every year come from fair trade farms. The company is also investing in sustainable agricultural practices, particularly in Ghana. The process is still far from ideal, though. The carbon footprint of flying fair trade palm oil from Ghana to be refined in Amsterdam and made into soap in California and then shipped around the world in plastic bottles is, as the company's chief operating officer Michael Millam puts it when I ask, the elephant in the room. The manufacturing process is common to most soap factories. Saponification and drying are done in one enormous machine, the reactor, and a computer can control the whole thing. In the Dr. Bronner's factory, an LED display the size of a chalkboard shows a grid plotting out the entire floor, with all the levels in every bin, along with their temperatures and pressures. As I peer into the reactor, cylindrical bottles shoot down a conveyor belt to where machines pour in the golden liquid, apply a cap, and slap on a label. The human work consists of checking for defective bottles and clearing jams.